Happy Seahawks Sunday to everyone out there. Even though we got a loss against the Bills, I personally am not too worried. I'm actually not that worried about this team. I do have my slight concerns with the defense. The defensive woes that plagued us all season continue to happen, and even though we got some starters back, it still showed up. But to the Bills' credit, we played a very solid, in my opinion, a good football team. And I think the Bills are gonna definitely win the AFC East, especially with the Patriots free falling. It'll be interesting to see how I think the Patriots are playing the Jets tomorrow night, so we'll see if the Patriots can bounce back. Because if they lose against the Jets, it might be game over for the Patriots. But we'll see. It's a long season. But going back to this Seahawks Bills game, even though the defensive woes still came up, I liked what I saw. Some of the things I saw from Jamal Adams being back, being able to get some pass rush on the quarterback, and his impact on the running game. And I would say the same with Carlos Dunlap. And I think Carlos had some good plays against, I think, their running back. I don't know if he had a sack, but he definitely got some good. Whether he got a hit on the quarterback or getting close to the quarterback or putting his hands up to try to bat passes down. Those we need all the help we can get on pass rush. So, and to the defense of the defense, or the defense of the defense, it doesn't help when the offense is turning the ball over. And as great as Russell Wilson has been, and he knows this, nobody knows this more than him. But when you turn the ball over and you give a good team like the Bills, or heck, any NFL team that short field, they're going to score some points, and it's hard to keep up. And, the Seahawks lost a foot race in a shootout with the Bills. And in some ways, like the Cardinals game, I'm hoping this will be a little bit of a wake-up call for that team. I know we didn't have our two running backs, but what I'm hoping is that, be it the coaching staff or the team as a whole, gets better at realizing that they can't rely on Russell Wilson and the offense on a consistent basis, just putting up what I call these video game numbers or playing near, if not perfect games, game in and game out. And then on top of that, expecting, Russell Wilson, like they've done in, either this season or past years, saving the day all the time. It was too much for Russell to overcome. And mind you, yes, he did, make some, not so great throws that turned into interceptions. And then I think a couple of lost fumbles. And part of that's on his offensive line. For not picking up the protection. And I know Dwayne Brown got mad at himself. I saw him slam his helmet down. And those things will happen, especially against a good team like the Bills. All that being said, I feel like, Seattle, like they always do, is going to bounce back. I'm not too worried. Look like Russell Wilson, for example. He was 28 out of 41 for 390 yards and 2 touchdowns. If it wasn't for those turnovers, that's still in my opinion, not that bad a game. Now, once again, those turnovers, take away from that, and we lost. And he knows that. He knows that those turnovers, in some ways, cost us the game, and it doesn't help that the defense, for most of this game, I think especially in the first half, was on the field. With the Bills moving down the ball, your defense is going to get tired, and we don't have that rotation defensive line like we've had in the past. But I think once this defense, if the defense can stay healthy and continue to play together, I think that's what's missing. Jamal Adams hasn't played, I think, since game 3 or 2, maybe game 3, and I know Dunbar. One of our cornerbacks has been in and out of the lineup, and then Shaquille Griffin was out. So with all that being said, the defense didn't necessarily play their greatest, but I also wouldn't say um, they played necessarily their worst game. You give a good team once again. The Bills a short field. Um, they're gonna score. They're gonna score points unless they miss field goals or we get turnovers. So, um, all that being said, I think the Seahawks are gonna be fine. Russell Wilson's gonna is already on to the next game against the Rams, and that's part of what I love about this team. So, that being said, I think the future is still bright as far as this season. I'm pretty sure Russell Wilson is still, if he's not leading the MVP race, he's definitely still in the conversation. And I'm not worried about that. And I know he's not. The main thing is winning games and hopefully getting into that Super Bowl. So he will remain focused. I know the team as a whole is going to remain focused, and it's on to the Rams. And hopefully we can get that win. It's probably going to be a pretty competitive game, just knowing how these NFC West games can go, especially in these last few seasons. But with that being said, yeah, I'm not too worried. Like I said, I think it's just on to the next game and do the best and let the chips fall where they may. So with that being said, like I said, I think everything's gonna work out and there's still stuff to work on. But once again, on to the next one. Go Hawks.